Ohio, the birthplace of aviation, of course, home to legendary astronauts like Neil Armstrong and John Glenn. Also a very important day today, the Ohio Aerospace Day here at the Ohio Statehouse in the atrium. We're really honored to have with us two of the brightest minds from NASA. Dr. Terrier, thank you so much for your time today. And you are the Chief Technologist with NASA and NASA Glenn. Tell me what the Chief Technologist does and what exciting things are happening.
Great, so it's really my pleasure to be here, and I'm the Chief Technologist with NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C. And we're really excited about the future for space exploration, and particularly our relationship with Ohio. Ohio's been a cornerstone of the nation's aviation and aerospace industry since the beginning, as you said, since the Wright brothers, and has continued to be the state that we rely on really to produce the technology to power our aviation and exploration dreams.
We really talk a lot about having a qualified workforce from the legislative standpoint. What types of programs and classes should students be learning from the high school level all the way through college to have a qualified workforce in Ohio?
Yeah, so obviously, we emphasize STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, which is, of course, the kind of the foundational sciences and mathematics for anything to do with aviation and aerospace. But I think it's important to stress, too, that we have a whole host of capabilities that are required to conduct any business, including the space and aviation enterprise. We need folks in business, we need folks in human relations, and really just having that STEM pipeline as well as the other disciplines is really very vital to us maintaining our leadership as a nation.
Dr. Janica Bondi is the director of NASA Glenn here in Ohio, and really exciting times in Ohio as far as aviation and technology and space research. What's your message to the people here in Ohio about the importance of having NASA Glenn here?
Right, so we have one of the most important research centers that NASA has. We have a research center that's split primarily half and half between aeronautics and aerospace. So we're very fortunate that we have things like wind tunnels, that we can do things like icing tests to help reduce the likelihood of having an accident related to icing on aircraft. And we're also testing spacecraft, some of the spacecraft that will be going to the moon and Mars in our generation. So we're really excited to be able to do both sides of that research here in the state of Ohio.
Tell me the importance of also having opportunities for young women and the path that you took to get to where you are as director. What got you interested, and what is your message to young women about opportunities in this exciting field?
Well, I had that dream that maybe a lot of young Americans have and a lot of young people around the world. I wanted to fly in space. So I started out really studying a lot of math and science, like Doug mentioned, and ended up being accepted into the astronaut program at NASA. So I was very privileged to be able to fly in space on the space shuttle. So after I was finished flying, I had opportunities were presented to me to be able to go into leadership roles until I eventually ended up here at NASA Glenn Research Center. So for young women, young men, anyone who's interested in space or aviation, please check out the NASA websites. Consider doing an internship, a Pathways internship at one of the NASA centers, and that way we can help us facilitate them coming to work for NASA later on.
Really, the sky is not the limit. It's far past the sky, right?
Far past the sky.
Senator Bill Beagle, he certainly knows the importance of aviation, NASA Glenn, and not only in your district, but for the state of Ohio. What is the state doing legislatively in trying to provide the best young minds and to keep them here in Ohio?
Sure. Well, what we've been working on the last few years is, as Dr. Terry mentioned, STEM education, and we're working to do that not only at the collegiate level, but also to push that down into high school and even middle school levels. So we're trying to make it easier for parents and students to get involved from a career exploration standpoint at a much earlier age, so that they can understand what they like, what they don't like, and so that they can choose these STEM fields with an understanding of the career implications of that.
And Ohio really is the birthplace of aviation. No better place to really serve not only in that industry, but also to serve your state and to have a great life here.
Well, that's correct. My district has the Wright brothers' home in it and their original bicycle shop, and nearby is Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, the largest single-site employer here in Ohio. As was mentioned, the importance of aerospace and aviation to the state of Ohio can't be overstated. We're the number one supplier to Airbus, we're the number one supplier to Boeing. We graduate 10,000 engineers a year. There's a lot Ohio is doing, but we could do so much more to capitalize that, and that's the whole point of Aerospace Day, is to make legislators and staff aware that there's so much going on, but there's so much more we could be doing.
Our thanks to Senator Bill Beagle and Drs. Terrier and Cavandi for latest career opportunities from NASA. Simple way to find out, go to their Twitter page. That's at NASA. And for the latest legislation from the Ohio Senate, go to at Ohio Senate GOP. And on the web, it's ohiosenate.gov/Republicans. I'm John Fortney from the Ohio Senate.